with some exercises, and bench press is one of them, your body mechanics can make a considerable difference to your success or otherwise when lifting. As you can probably see here, I'm quite a bit taller than William, and surprise surprise, I have longer arms. My shoulders are considerably higher above William's, but actually our arms end in a similar sort of position here. If I put an arm out in front and William does, my reach is, oh, I don't know, 6 inches, 8 inches more than William's, something like that. Okay, so how is that relevant to bench press? Well, fairly simple. If William makes a bench pressing motion, okay, you can probably see he brings his arms down to the point where his hand is close to the chest, and if you just turn to the camera there, when he's in a position like that with a close grip like this, he's around parallel here. His elbow and his shoulder is more or less in line. Okay? If I do the same thing here, if I make a pressing motion, my elbow is quite a way behind my body. Now, that means effectively that I have a leverage disadvantage when I'm low. First of all, I have further distance to press going forwards, whereas William has a little less because his arms are shorter. But also, if William brings his arms down in that way, he's not at too much of a disadvantage when in a low position from a leverage point of view. Whereas if my elbow's all the way back here, I've got a considerable leverage disadvantage. That doesn't, however, mean that I can't bench press successfully, or that William is immediately going to become a world champion. And there are a number of ways around this, one of which is to alter the width of the grip, and I'll show you that on a bar. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, I've got long arms, long reach. So for example, if I take a relatively narrow grip on a bar, my elbows are coming back way below the height of my chest, past my shoulders, giving me a little bit of a leverage disadvantage and requiring me to push the bar a long way, which in many ways is good. On the other hand, if I want to actually lift the most weight possible, as opposed to, for example, go for muscular development or work on a particular area of the chest, if I widen my grip, right, you can probably see I reduce the bar path. Watch. Considerable distance. Not very much distance. Okay. And also, in terms of leverage, now my elbows are barely behind my shoulder, meaning that I'm at less of a leverage disadvantage. Now, a lot of it depends on what your aims are. If your aim is to lift as much weight as possible, and especially if you're long-limbed, if you take a wider grip, you will be able, almost certainly, to train yourself to lift more weight. If on the other hand you're trying to grow your muscles as much as possible, you may be better off using full range with lighter weight and lifting over a wider range. It depends on what you're aiming for here. Also, if you were taking up powerlifting for competition purposes, there is a maximum width you're allowed to grip to be legal in competition, and you can pretty much see the reason why. Otherwise everybody would be having their arms out here and doing 1-inch bench press. You can probably see a lot of this comes down to what you're trying to do. You want to lift heavy? A wide grip is very good. If you want to target the centre of the chest and build more muscle, use a narrower grip.